What is up, everyone? I am Deva and welcome to Thank the Watchers number 5, the weekly, or at least I try to make a weekly show where I randomly select 5 of my DA watchers and feature one of their pictures that I find most awesome. So for this week I have a really good selection for you, a lot of really unique visual styles, so without further ado, let us get on with it, shall we? Okay, so our very first watcher for today is QueenieLumi, a varied hobbyist. Mika, a female from the United States, and she's been on DA for 1 month, and the picture I'm going to be featuring her is Gardevoir, arguably one of the most popular Pokemon of today, for better or for worse. But anyway, one of the most popular Pokemon, and this is actually a pretty simplistic looking picture of her, but still manages to have that nice little quaint charm to it, you know. So there isn't all too much to go about this picture because it's really simplistic and all that, but that's not a bad thing. It's actually kind of, you know, it really does suit the character, you know. You don't have to be complex with Pokemons and all that stuff. The thing that I really like the most is, of course, the head, you know. The head is actually very well drawn. I really like the expression on the face, a nice mellow and calm and all that. The line work on the head is definitely pretty good. You know, the hair really looks crisp and smooth. There are a few bumps and bruises along the way, but still, it is a pretty good shot at it. The background is also pretty nice, and it does really suit the color palette of the character, as well as the lighting on the back of the character. And the only bit of advice I could give to you is to try to draw bodies just a little bit better. You know, this does look really simple compared to this. But I really do think that you got heads and faces down. It's just that you need to improve on your bodies a little bit. So that's about it, QueenieLumi. Thank you so much for watching me on DA, and I really hope this video gets you a lot more exposure than you already have. Now let us move on to our next artist, shall we? So our next artist is called McRib, a traditional art hobbyist, Justin Goons. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. A male from Germany. He's been on DA for 4 months, and the work of art I'm going to be featuring him is D.Va, one of the most popular Overwatch characters, just like the previous one, popular for better or for worse. Now this picture right here does actually look real nice, but the lack of a background may actually make it seem a little bit dull. But, you know, like, you can also always improve upon that. The thing that I really like the most is, obviously the hair, it looks really good. I really love the individual locks and all that stuff, makes it look a lot more natural. The face and the neck. Now, the neck can be just a little bit shorter, but, you can see that the bone structure and the neck are actually very, you know, natural looking. The shading is also pretty nice touch, as you can see, very natural at an angle. The expression on the face is also pretty nice. I do think that the eyes and the nose are just a little bit, I don't know, they kind of look a little bit lopsided, kind of goofy, but the expression of the face is actually pretty nice. Kind of gives that that sort of pouty kind of look and all that. The coloring is also pretty good, and just like the previous picture, you know, the head and the face look really good. You know, as a start, they look really nice. But the body could just use a little bit more work, you know. The bow is just melting off into nothingness. The shoulders and all that stuff really don't have that much fine defined lines. But I know that you could quickly, you know, improve upon that. You're doing very well on the head side of things. You know, the hairs, the individual locks, like I said, looks very natural. That's a really good touch. Never stop doing that. And just remember to, you know, practice your brush strokes multiple times before you actually go about, you know, making the final picture. So yeah, that's about it, McRib. Thank you so much for watching me in DA, and I really hope this video gets you a lot more recognition than you already have. So let's move on to our next artist. Okay, so our next artist is called Pilate, a core member from the United Kingdom. They've been on DA for 1 year, and the work of art I'm going to be featuring from them is I'm Gonna Hacks Your Roblox. And yes, everyone, that is the actual title of the picture. I don't know why, but yeah. The reason why I really wanted to feature this artist is because all of their pictures actually have this, when you zoom in on them, they have this really grainy looking kind of style, which makes them look slightly nostalgic and all that stuff, which is pretty cool. I don't know why, but I just really like this sort of visual style. It kind of makes them feel like you're kind of looking at like a neon sign or whatever. I don't know, I just kind of get that feeling. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, that's the kind of vibe that I get from it. So another thing that I really like about this picture is, of course, the coloring, because in my opinion, I think the colors are actually very well balanced. You know, they really do fit the character, you know, like the typical demon looking character and blah blah blah. That's actually pretty awesome, especially, you know, like on the clothes and with the shading and all. It just goes so well together, definitely. And also you can see more of those awesome colored outlines, which I love so much, but in this one, they're actually in different colors. You can see over here blue and orange. The anatomy actually does look pretty natural looking and all that stuff, you know, about as natural for a furry character and all that. The detail work is definitely top notch, especially like on the clothes, on the tie and all that stuff. The hair, horns, and the ears actually do look pretty well done, you know, especially with the horns, because, you know, they are tiny. but you know, like they're not so small you can actually see them. So I really do like horns like this because you know they're basically small enough that you know you can still see them, but they're not big enough to actually make themselves look like they're the main focus of the picture, you know? The only thing that I kind of don't like about the picture, or at least I find meh about it, is of course the wings, because I don't know, but if I was the artist, I kind of wouldn't make the character with wings because I don't know, it doesn't really look like it fits him, you know? So that's about it, Ghost Pilot. Thank you so much for watching me on DA, and I really hope this video gets you a lot more recognition than you already have. Now let us move on to our next and final artist. Okay, so our last and final artist of this video is called Sook Sama, a digital art hobbyist. Queen Kisei, a female from the United Kingdom. She's been on DA for just 1 month, and the work I'm going to be featuring her is Delinquent. And just like the previous picture, yet another one where the visual style is just awesomely impressive. And I'm not just talking about the art style, I'm also talking about the this whole distorted camera effect. Like you can see multiple colors and all that stuff. Like if you actually take a moment and just look at the character, it's gonna kind of mess up with your eyes because you're gonna be able to see all the multicolored outlines. Pretty awesome touch. This is the reason why I really wanted to feature this picture right here, because of the whole visual aspect of it. It kind of can mess with your eyes like a little bit and make them just hurt from the focus. It really does, you know, it is pretty unique, and I think it really deserves a spotlight. Now, another thing that's actually really cool about this picture, at least in my opinion, are the clothes of the character, you know, like you can see, like, over here it kind of looks like some patchy stocking, over here, like a different sleeve sweater or whatever, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Harley Quinn to a certain extent, which is pretty cool. I really like this touch over here, like the ink dripping out of the leg. I think that's pretty unique. And just the expression of the character, you know, that whole back off type of tomboyish kind of look. It's all pretty cool, although there are a few things that I do find wrong with this picture, and it's mostly in the top portion. Now, over here, the fingers can actually be improved a little bit with the addition of a thumb as well. The baseball bat or whatever she's holding kind of looks a little bit bent at the middle. When you're drawing stuff like that, I kind of recommend that you, since it's traditional art, you can like put a ruler or like a pencil, so you can, you know, like follow in which direction it's actually going. You know, you can draw it in a perfectly straight line instead of just, you know, having it like this. But I can tell where you're going for. Like you were going for the whole kind of complex, but not too much. You know, basically this mellow kind of picture. And it really does look good, you know, like the body of the character actually does look pretty good. The head as well. It's just that the hand and the baseball bat are a little wacky. Although that's not too much of a problem, you know. It's just the picture as a whole is, you know, like too awesome for this to actually be noticed all that much. So definitely thumbs up for that, especially like I said again, I really do love the visual style that you've gone for, these colorful outlines. But the fact that you actually need to look at the character a little bit more to get the lines actually, you know, like what's the word I'm looking for? Fucking, you know what I'm trying to say and all that. Definitely a good touch. I really love it. And in fact, I'm gonna just give it a favorite. Boom. And definitely thank you so much for watching me on DA, Sook Sama, and I really hope this video gets you a lot more recognition than you already have. Well everyone, that's about it for Thank the Watchers number 5. Now, I do gotta say, if this video ends up being a little bit short, or it kind of feels rushed, well that's because it kind of is, because right now, with the summertime season approaching very quickly, a lot of bees are gathering around my fucking building, and I'm so paranoid that one of them is gonna fly in. I already had like 15 of them fucking fly in, even through the goddamn bug net, so I'm just paranoid out of my mind, and I'm trying to get this video out as quickly as I can, because I don't want to get stung and all that stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and press the little bell icon. As always, I'm D.Va, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.